Greetings. Dr. Joseph Martin. Our topic for today is the individual, the person of Lao Tzu. Simplicity, patience, kindness, humility, and compassion. Now, Lao Tzu is known to be the founder of Daoism, which is a cosmology of the origin and creation of the universe and, of course, everything in it, including all the cosmological great laws of how the universe is structured and how it functions. Lao Tzu was born in China in the 6th century before the Common Era, before Jesus Christ. And he was born when it's said that his mother was gazing up at the sky and she saw a shooting star. And it was at that very moment that he was conceived. And that he stayed in her womb for 62 years, and then eventually he was born. He was a very knowledgeable, bright young man, and so he was an archivist at the Royal Court of Zhou, and he was able to garner all the knowledge of ancient China at the time. He was co-equal or living at the same time with another great Chinese philosopher, Confucius. And these two are probably the best known of all the ancient Chinese knowledgeable people. Confucius was more interested in political and social philosophy and family life, whereas actually Lao Tzu was much more mystical, much more directed towards the inner silence. And when all the social warring and changes that were going on at the royal court were starting to really get to him, he decided to quit and he went into exile. He just left and he went into a place of silence. In this inner silence, he would wander around and he actually spoke to some people who he thought he could be of value to. Now, Lao Tzu in our common time is known to be just one of the most popular mystical, social cosmologists and philosophers ever. There are several legends of him. There's the one that I want to share with you, though, is it is thought that he actually did either teach Gautama Siddhartha Buddha, or in fact he was the Buddha. So I'll leave that one with you. He came up with certain principles, and the major one is this one here. You've all seen probably by now the symbol of the Tao, which is in the greatest light is the center of darkness, and in the greatest darkness is the center of light, which is very timely for today, which is the winter solstice, which is the greatest darkness and the beginning of the dawning of the new light, which would be this point down below here. So the Tao suggests that there's a harmony and balance between opposites or complementaries in the entire universe. And in fact, this is what is so much part of what we've been talking about for so long now. This is part of the cosmological laws and also therefore human laws in nature. That in death is new life, and in life, as soon as you're born, you know you're going to die. And when the ego takes over, it's the death of the soul. And when the soul takes over and has new life, it's the death of the ego. All these wonderful complementarities in our lives, isn't there? So Lao Tzu realized that there's also a battle within every one of us and also in society, culture, and civilization. One of his famous sayings is, when goodness goes out the window, human laws of morality take over and rule. There are quite a few of them. But the main concept I'd like to put across, and for your inspiration and acknowledgement inside yourself, is the concept of Wu Wei, as we say. Wu Wei means, simplistically, no action, take no action, no doing, do nothing. And in the positive sense, it means just be. Be empty, be silent, be still, or be in the flow. Just flow with the circumstances and life inside, outside, and all around you, both in space and in time. Now, as a feng shui specialist for quite a few decades now, We have five elements that we look to as the elements of for balance and harmony among each other and certainly within one another. The main element that we use when we do feng shui is the water element. And Wu Wei and Lao Tzu, in his estimation, showed that water is the main element of all life. Not only is the important element for our lives and what we need to drink every day in order to stay in the flow, but it's the one element on a watery planet, planet Earth, where everything is resolved in and through around water. And he suggests that we need to flow like water. We need to be water. And he says the best people in life are actually people who are like water. They heal everything, they meet everyone. It goes to a low place and it settles in a low place, which is his value, his virtue of humility. And water is just so soothing, even the sound of it, the look of it, the feel of it, for all of us. And that's why the kindest and the best people are like water. Now, simplicity is something in our time that obviously most of us will need to get in touch with. In a time with overt materialism and far too many things that we don't need in terms of material objects, simplicity of life, not just in the things we own or use, but in our lifestyle is most important. In a time where we have koyaanisqatsi, which is a Hopi word for life out of balance, and just speeding up. You might have seen that movie, which is online. Just everything speeding up. People, their minds, their cars, their activities, way out of balance. And that's why the civilization is dying and almost dead now. Thank goodness. Something better to come, and we're going to co-create it. So the balance that we need within our own personal life is the simplicity, just to be very humbly, just to have fewer objects, a simpler lifestyle, much easier on our body and mind, our soul, and our spirit, and our emotions, and our neighbors. And to have the humility just to flow with the times and trust and have faith and hope and courage that things will get better. The next thing I wanted to mention was patience. Patience in a time like this, or any time, is certainly called for. If you can just let go and be, and just be patient and wait for the Spirit to move you, the flow of Spirit, the flow of water to come through you, awaken you, make you self-realized, and help you move forward, that's the thing to do. Don't rush out and take activity. Just be with the flow and see what comes to you. Also, compassion. In a time like this, of course, when everyone can be hateful and hurtful, having compassion, listening, being empathetic is one of the most important things that we can be for ourselves and for all those around us. And this is the beauty and the benefit of why Lao Tzu is so valued in our time or any time as a great spiritual master and being. So while I would suggest that you maybe read some of his books, I'd like to share a few of his many, many great quotes with you. And the ones that come to me at this time are these. Being deeply loved by somebody gives you strength. Loving someone deeply gives you courage. Being deeply loved by somebody gives you strength. Loving someone deeply gives you courage. I trust that these are your experiences as well, as you open to this in your heart to give and receive. And another one, kindness in thinking gives you confidence. Kindness in words gives you profundity. And kindness in giving gives you love. Kindness in giving gives you love. May the blessings of Lao Tzu be with you always. You will be finding yourselves to be great spiritual masters in your own right as you move forward with the depth of your own profundity, your love, your giving, your simplicity, your patience, your compassion, your silence, your beingness, and your humility like water. May you flow like water. All love and blessings.